And welcome to this edition of Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday, May 27th. We've had a weekend full of sports, but we're going to reflect back on to Friday's special events. Of course, the Argus Bermuda Day Half Marathon Derby that saw Lamont Marshall win his third title and Rosanna Hoy winning her second. In studio with us are two gentlemen who were here prior to the race, Lamont Marshall and his father Larry, having to fulfill the plan, all the anticipation, obviously working it out, coming out of St. George to Bernard Park. Lamont, I know you've had, on the day you talked about your strategy, on the day you talked about a lot of stuff, but you've had time to reflect now. Looking back, how did the day play out for you?
Well, good afternoon. Thanks for having us. It was good. The main goal was to retain the title, and just to be able to be in a position defending my own title and sort of coming in the form that I was in. Mm-hmm. The actual morning, really good how I felt, conditions. It wasn't hot at all. I didn't feel humid. That was a good sign. The first couple of miles were very steady. I wanted to sort of get a halfway decent lead into I think I pictured maybe the first 5 miles, and then I could take it from there. I could either keep it going and push it, or just maintain what I had to win. So for that first, I would say, because I think the first mile I went through and I was in the lead. So that was sort of confidence boosting, saying that, okay, I'm in the lead. I haven't gone out too fast, but I have a decent lead, and I can just sort of relax and go through for the remainder of the race. When
do you start looking back to see that gap?
This is the first time I never looked back. It was a lot of help from the crowd. A lot of people, it's all you, nobody, so, right. So I got a lot of help from them, but in all honesty, I knew from the way I felt and the times that I was clicking off, I think it was just pretty much almost 5:20 up until 7-8 miles, and even 9 and 10 were just marginally slower. So I knew if I'm doing 5:20, somebody's catching me has to do 5 minutes, 5:10, and I kind of figured, I was like, well, nobody's doing that. So I sort of, those first couple of miles, coming across the causeway, I was hitting 5. I think it was just under 16 minutes for 3 miles. And so I kind of figured, I said, okay, yeah, this is for them to catch me, they would really have to start flying.
Larry, you're listening to it all, and you're able to watch a little bit of it, but what goes through you, because it's all in Lamont's hands now, all the coaching, all the strategy, everything's out the door.
Good afternoon to the audience, and thanks for having us. That's the difficult part, because no matter how well prepared you are, it does, in the final analysis, come down to the athlete being in the zone. And, I'm a stickler for little things, making sure that, you got this, you got that. Don't eat too late. A lot of little things, and it could be paranoia, but still, you just check off all the list, and then it's like, okay, on the day, if the month is feeling good, then he's going to run a certain pace. And like he said, if it's running 5:20 and it's got a lead, then you're going to run a little quicker than that, and they couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. I did watch it online, and I watched you guys, and I was like, wow, man, because you're listening to the commentary, and then someone, I get really, first 50 meters is over a month in 8th or 9th.
Right.
Okay, but still, I'm saying, okay, there's something going on.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, not 3rd or 4th, 8th or 9th.
Right.
Come on, man. And once he started to work his way up to the field, and went through that first mile in 5:20, and I could see his cadence compared to Sean and Sammy, that it was a different level. And once he got through the causeway, and he's very strong on heels. So at Blue Hill, I felt comfortable that if he, ran his race, he would win quite comfortably, which he did.
The morning of the race, because you say you like to tick off the boxes and everything, what was the conversation like, that last talk?
There's no last talk because Lamont, he don't want to hear it, man. He's sort of like,
it's the last talk the night before.
Yeah. It's
game face.
The last minute advice, you can't. I mean, once you sort of know what you're doing the week off, that's it. You just execute it.
Right.
You don't have to be sort of constantly, okay, well, what is this? And what,
Right. Right. I did see you about a week ago on V Street. It was this Saturday because I was going to do the dressage thing, and you just doing a little light jogging around, just I guess getting the wheels in motion.
That was it.
Yeah,
that was a last minute preparation. I mean, you could never plan for everything. You try to get as much as possible. I mean, I didn't know a dog was going to almost bite me.
Right.
Coming across Baffle.
Right.
I didn't know coming into town, traffic was a little backed up on Queen Street. You can't prepare for that.
Right.
There's nothing you can say about what to do 11 miles into the race if it's sort of, traffic in front of you or something.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was a bit concerned the amount of people that decided to take their dogs to the race or to the festivities. Because you think your dog hasn't bitten anyone, around all that noise and around, all it needs is one.
That's all. Hey, it's not gonna hit, just playful.
Right, but I don't know that. I don't, and anybody that's participating in a race, you're so focused on what you're doing, and something jumps out at you.
He jumped out.
Yeah,
they weren't just playful. Yeah, he jumped out.
So
you see the footage, and you would see, like, hey.
Well, I'm just hoping that people use better caution in going to any event that has a volume of people for a period of time. Unfortunately, you have to leave your dog home.
But it's island-wide, because even, what was it, yesterday, we went out Spanish Point Boat Club, watched the races. And now I'm obviously a runner, born and bred.
Right.
I don't know much about powerboat racing.
Right.
I'm looking, saying, that boat coming through looks a little bit close.
Yes.
The first thing I'm saying, is there anyone policing this?
Yeah.
Like, because these boats are coming through.
I witnessed it myself.
I'm like, this boat,
you had this
looks dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know much about boats, but
Yeah.
it looks dangerous to me.
I just think people need to use common sense when doing things. And obviously you could see something as big, just like the powerboat, is going on, and you have to err on the side. But most people have it in the mind, get out of my way. And it's unfortunate.
It's their dog.
Right.
He's not going to bite them.
Right.
But he
They
can
feed
bite
it.
somebody else.
Yeah.
And like that situation with Lamont, that was really silly and irresponsible. And judging from one of the commentators, man, they all thought it was funny, which really disgusted me.
Right.
Because it's one thing, okay, you got a dog on a 10-foot leash, and he lunges at a runner. Okay, if you reel him in and it's like some acknowledgement, okay, look, I'm sorry, what happened again. But then you think it's a joke.
Right.
You're taking it to another level of stupidity and just irresponsibility.
But overall, you think the majority of the crowd appreciated the performance you was able to
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you have when you're running for over an hour, and it's a lot of people screaming and encouraging your name specifically, it was very.
Well, they could only be your name. You was the only one.
Yeah, but the reception was positive. It was, like I said, I mean, obviously coming through Middlewood, Devonshire, and Cedar Avenue, that was, like I'm saying, you got T-shirts, banners, posters, and all that, all of you. So, like I said, May 24th is second to none. It's the only race that's going to be like that.
Now, you said that prior to the before the race, and you still have a few more things you want to do for the remainder of the year, just to wind down. But how does Friday set you up for whatever else you want to complete this year or this season?
It's definitely a confidence booster, because once you have those, so like I said, the 2 national records as well as the May 24th title, you're confident. You're saying, okay, I can continue my training, take my little break if I need, and go forward. But I think it's just. I have a few races, nothing major, just because you don't want to just go too long without racing and you're just training sort of for nothing.
Right.
You want to get that burst in. So I might have like 2 or 3 races left overseas. That's sort of it's I mean anything between like maybe 5 miles, 10K, and so I just like I said continue the season, but it's nothing of any major.
Now, are you hungry? Now that you won the 3rd one, are you hungry for 4?
Well, it's always, in all honesty, it wasn't a number for me. It was always the time. Even if I was to win it once, but I would win it in, a really low time, because my goal still is to get under 110 for a local half. I think I can do 105 overseas, obviously the flat, fast, and thing like that. So I still have, a minute and some to go, which is, and I was in the right direction. Like previously, I had won it in 114, 113, so now 111. It's like you're heading in the right direction. So that was really good for me.
Speaking to quite a few of the participants that finished the race, a lot of them were stunned at their particular times because, in some instances, people were lowering the time of a half mile by 6 and 7 minutes. You think the conditions played it out that way for a lot of runners?
Yeah, definitely. It was, and I always said that I felt that St. George's, I felt it was faster than Somerset, but both are challenging. Both have some serious hills and serious, spots, placements. But I thought, like I said, those first 3 are fast. You got a lot of downhill coming on, coming off of Crawl Hill, and your next hill, I guess, will be flats. So that's a solid 2-3 miles of just good running. So yeah, I think it was perfect. Rather, definitely, I didn't feel any heat, humidity. It was. We haven't had a really good day like that on the day for a while, as far as I can remember.
Larry, when you see Lamont out there running in a race by himself, are you overconfident that the fact that he trains by himself a lot, so whatever he's thinking now, it's sort of a training habit of sorts?
Yeah, I mean, when I think it's like 3.5 minutes into the race, that's when he took the lead. So basically, from that point on, it's no longer a race; it's a long tempo run, and that can be challenging, But like he said, with the crowd, it can boost, and also you got the lead vehicle, so you do have some movement in front of you, so that's helpful as well, right? But for me, I'm just say look, lock up the victory, because that's going from 2 victories to 3, listening to the commentating team, and you're talking about guys like going back to the 20s and the 40s. Man, I said there's some history to go from 2 victories to 3 victories, and I was hoping that he would be able to get under 110, but he is going in the right direction, and running is not an exact science. No. Sometimes you think that, like with that 15K, he averaged about 5:10 a mile, and that was a new Bermuda record, new personal best for him. And I felt with that under his belt, he could average 5:20 a mile, but it didn't materialize like that. And sometimes you misjudge. Like for example, his best ever race, in my opinion, was when he ran the 10K in 2015, April 2015. He did 29:49, and that's a fantastic time. And that was the year that he felt, look, man, we can beat Chris this year. We can get down to 108, and he ended up doing 113. So it's not an exact science, you know what I mean. But in answer to your question about him, he does train alone. So I guess in that respect, being out there when it does, like is used to it. So and hopefully, like Kevin, when he did this 109, obviously he was way out in front, the whole race. So we're hoping that one can replicate that, and coming from Somerset next year, it will be more challenging, because even if you look at the top 10 times of people from the west,
Mhm.
and there are times from the east, and it's significantly quicker from the east.
Right.
Like 7 or 8 of those 10, their times are not just faster, they're significantly faster.
Right,
So I
right.
think that would suggest the course is
Yeah, getting that first 3 miles, as Lamont said, running flat
Yeah.
until you get to
Blue
Blue Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas out of Somerset, the minute you hit that straight, you're getting up Fort
Yeah.
Scholar. So
You before there, the hill going up past Arnold's.
right,
To
right,
St.
to St.
James
James,
Church.
right,
St.
right.
James
That's a
Church.
slight incline, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
Into-
you're presented right at the start, an incline.
Challenge.
So yeah. What things would you work on over the next 300 odd days before next year's race to ensure that you can possibly tackle that 110 time?
I actually haven't changed much in, I would say, the last maybe 8 seasons. It's the same template. I always come out, I do maybe 2 months of we call base. It's just high aerobic, average maybe 95 miles a week. I go into like maybe a 5 or 6 week training block of like heavy load, like I would do hill work, tempos and that, and I would start off usually with indoors in Boston, and that's always led to really fast times
Right.
early. Do a few races after. So for me, the template, if I know what works, I continue to do it. So it's if I gotten 2 national records and on May 24th me in the fastest time that I've personally ever run, continue to do the same thing.
And advice to anybody that possibly wants to emulate what you do. What would the advice be for
It
someone?
depends the goals. I don't really like. It's hard for me to have a conversation. The difference between a conversation and a relationship. A conversation is just you speak to somebody for an hour. A relationship, you're digesting what was said. You're going back and forth, and so I would have to speak to someone and say, okay, well, what's your overall goal? Because the main thing I don't want someone to do is say, okay, I want to be content with being the local hero. May 24th is my head goal. If you have any decent talent, the first thing I say, look, get yourself qualified for Island Games and CAC. Then go for like maybe what's the other one? Pan Am's and Commonwealths. You know what I'm saying? So, and even if they feel that they're about a long distance runner, then they are middle distance. If I tell them sort of instruct them, we're talking about the marathon, then it's like, look, get those standards, the Pan Am standard for the marathon. Don't make May 24th necessarily. That's it, because a lot of people have messed up their careers just saying, okay, well, my high is going to be what, May 24th, a local race. I mean, with all the history and everything surrounded, it's still a local race. So for me, that's one thing that I always wanted to put the track and field first, to say, let's get your internationally recognized times down first. So specifically to May 24th, you have to do just a lot of mileage and a lot of long runs and get, I would say your most important run of the week will be your weekly long run, anywhere from 16 to 18 miles weekly.
Well, we do have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. You're welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio.
Hey, Lamont is hitting it right on the head. Let me just turn this down radio.
Yeah.
I think I recognize his voice.
Yeah, you're right.
It's on top of a horse, man.
Lamont is certainly saying it like it's supposed to be said. If you set your sights on Bermuda, you're only going to go so far. And I think you guys have got it worked out. The only thing I would like to see in Bermuda, and I don't know what's going to be the solution, but I would like to see all the competitive runners race each other on the track more often, particularly at 5,000, 3,000, maybe even a 10K. But it seems like everybody talks to everybody. It's like as if Lamont's got it right. He's over there doing combining track with with everything else he has to do in order to become a better runner. Everybody else seems to be really focused. You know, and I don't understand why at least 10 track meets a year, the top distance runners can't be competing with each other. And I think that was why, even as a junior, I ran so well with guys like Jeff Penn and Ray Swan and and you name it, Gary Wilkerson, we raced on this track a lot. And if you look at any world-class runner, I don't care if it's a marathoner, I don't care if it's a 10K specialist, I don't care what type of road runner he is. He has a season where he runs competitive track to battle his cadence and to work on his speed endurance. And I think that's the missing ingredient in Bermuda. Lamont is intelligent enough to find ways to get overseas and race with some elite competition, and because of that, he's gaining some success. So I just wanted to say that to you guys. I didn't get a chance to speak with you and congratulate you after the race. But certainly, I don't know if we're on the same page, in terms of what I'm thinking, in terms of the top guys racing each other, but
Yeah,
certainly,
definitely.
I think everything else you said, Lamont, you got it spot on. Spot on.
All right.
Do you have it from a past winner? He's still talking?
Yeah.
Man, get off your horse, man.
Yeah, it's definitely right, though. I'm trying to get. It's. I never understood it as well. A lot of guys, what he said, like guys ducking each other because it's just one race. Don't cut yourself short of an entire career because you're worried about one race. Like for me, I travel a lot to like Boston, New York, the gateway cities that they might just be like, a couple $100 to get there. I mean, we can combine resources and say, okay, you just get yourself there. We split the hotel, transportation, all like that, and you get some sort of camaraderie in a group. Because my last race heading into this, I was what? Out of 30 runners in pen relays, I think I came 6th, and like that wasn't even the fastest on the East Coast. So if I'm chasing all these guys, imagine if I could be sort of chasing somebody locally based. Now, you don't even have to finish the race. A lot of guys might say, hey, look, I'm only good in sort of half the distance, 5K. I will rabbit you guys.
Right.
If you guys want to do 10K, I'll rabbit you for 5K. Now, that's mutually beneficial for everyone in the race because the guy rabbiting is saying, okay, well, he can get a good workout even though it's just half the distance. Mentally, it takes the pressure off of me from having to focus that entire distance. So it works for all. Yeah.
Well, my suggestion then will be to the BNAA is to throw out not a challenge, but an offer to the elite runners, both male and female, to host an event of such. A 10,000.
But like I said, it's not. I don't think it's a conversation. I don't really know anyone from Bina right now.
Right.
Like I know maybe Freddie Evans. Is probably the one guy who I can say I have an actual relationship and friendship with. I don't know anyone else. So it's more or less about just saying, even if this up and coming Saturday, a few of the coaches say, hey, look, it's a Champions League final. Let's all watch it together. We can talk.
Right.
We can get that type of thing, not just a one-off. If you bump into me out marketplace, hey, what's happening, man? Because that's not gonna amount to nothing.
No.
You know what I mean? So just developing camaraderie, legitimate friendships, and then going forward, and everybody sort of splitting their ideas and doing it like that.
From there. Yeah. Well, I know we've got other guests coming on board. I think Earl has asked all the questions, and you guys have dotted and crossed your T's. Is there any final comments you'd like to add before we wrap up, gentlemen?
Just thanks to all my sponsors, the race committee, family, friends, everybody who made not only the day special to me, but the entire season. So, because obviously, I had 4 international races prior to that. So that's all my sponsors who've just been with me. Some of them 10, 15 years, and just looking forward to next year. Okay.
Larry, any final comments?
Yeah, I would just again thank you guys for having us, but I will say that in regard to why Lamont has to go overseas to get competition, that's a scathing indictment on Bina. Because to be blunt, from the 3,000 to the 10,000, there's nobody in Bermuda that will give Lamont competition over those distances. So that's why he has to go out. And it's really been nobody developed over the past 10 or 15 years as a consequence of bad policies. So that I would just like to put that out there. that's the reason why Lamont has to go away.
In all fairness, that's across the board with track and field, even else coming along. It's always, you get to a certain height, a certain level, and you have to go overseas to compete. And that's because of our population, Bermuda, and that's across the board with all our sports. We get to a certain level and we're like, you know what, it's time to go overseas. So I can understand what you guys are going through. Yeah. So I look forward to seeing you defend the title coming out of the West next year, 8 o'clock in the morning.
No, 9 o'clock.
You never know what happens.
We'll shift the goalposts a little bit.
Yeah, they shift the goal. And look, you may even get that time down to 109 or 108 or even 107. You took 3 minutes off.
Yeah. This morning, it was 70 degrees at 9 o'clock. Right?
Yeah. On the race day, it was 67.
No, hang on.
Okay.
70 degrees at 9 o'clock this morning. 8 o'clock, you know what the temperature was?
No, I was in the gym there.
70 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got my point.
I get your point.
It's the same.
Okay.
Anyway.
But we'll find out next year then.
All right.
Yeah, my friend.
Yeah.
Liverpool, we never walk alone.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Congratulations, because the last time we were here, I think it was the 6th of May.
The day before the year.
Yeah, it was no way you would
Yeah, and I said we will win. I was the one.
Yeah. He said that? Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And that was a phenomenal win. And
I recorded that, so I can give you a copy if you want.
You saying like the one prediction you made?
I don't want the game.
I saw it. I couldn't believe it.
I probably watched it all 8 times.
I still can't believe it.
I still can't believe it. Right?
Waiting for something different to happen.
Fantastic.
No, I want nothing different. We want to win on Saturday.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you very much, John.
Right,
enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, cool.
Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Beeston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Joining us in the studio now is bi-weekly guest, the president of the Bermuda Netball Association. Good afternoon to you, Mrs. Kamal Evans.
Good afternoon, gents.
Good afternoon.
All is well?
Yes,
Had a good holiday?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You coming down next year?
Negative.
You should see. I'm
Definitely.
watch like everybody
Sure.
else.
Put me in the back of your car. I could probably commentate for you guys.
Okay. All right. Possibility. We keep that in mind. We keep that in mind. The season has wound down. You're into your summer season now officially, if I'm correct with netball, or you're going to...
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Right.
it's due to kick off
Thank you.
tomorrow.
How are things looking?
It's looking pretty good. As you know, we proposed to have both a female and a male league. Well, not necessarily male, but a co-ed league, all female league and a co-ed league. Unfortunately, we only got one response, I think a temporary response in reference to the co-ed league. So, that's not going to kick off. It's not going to deter us. Obviously, we'll continue to have the tournaments because it's a fixture that everyone enjoys. So we'll continue to do that. However, we have 8 teams registered in the Summer League this year, which is up from previous years. So, the word is definitely getting out. We can see that people are interested. And we'll just continue to try and provide other opportunities. Like I had spoke previously, there are some things that are in the works potentially coming up this winter.
Are you able to share some of those things?
Sure. One of the things we are considering and strongly considering and look out for information coming out is in reference to a Pee-wee netball extravaganza, like leading up to it, a couple of weeks of a fun program, introductory. And when we mean Pee-wees, we mean like 3-4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, just getting their motor skills going and things like that. And also, we're trying to push to have a walking netball league, which will be for like over 50s or even under. But it obviously the rules state you have to walk.
My speed.
My speed.
Yeah.
Our speed.
Yeah.
So walking netball.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's huge.
It's quite popular.
It's quite
Really?
popular.
Yeah, you can check it on YouTube. It's quite
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
So this will be the
It's
first
quite
time introduced to Bermuda.
Yes.
then.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And you're looking to bring that in the fall of the season?
Yes.
For 50 and above, 50-year-olds
Yes.
and above, 50 plus,
Yes.
I should say.
I mean, we try and put things in place to allow for everyone to be able to enjoy themselves. However, we do not want to limit. So while I'm going to say tentatively 50 and above, it could be someone that's younger than 50. It would just mean that you just have to apply the rules that's stated. So we're still ironing out a few kinks that was thrown out there. We've been asked by the older former netballers for something that's more their speed, because obviously with us really promoting it, the younger girls are coming through, they're really fit, they're really fast, and just want to do something to recreationally get yourself involved. That way we can also help to pull back to the sport. We can get some of those that have been previously involved back involved and things like that. So it's something that we've been talking about, and it looks like we're going to put it out there, and fingers crossed people buy into it and actually get on board. I think it should be really exciting.
Yeah, sure.
What's the hype been around these 8 teams that will start off tomorrow night? Because it's more, Summer League is more of a, I want to say recreational type, but there are teams that want to be in, and there are teams that just want to participate. It's a come together sort of thing. So what has the anticipation been like thus far after these teams have registered?
Well, I can say it's definitely a coming together, and the fact that we have persons that have been involved in Winter League that have formed teams to be involved, they're buying into it. They're buying into it. We've stressed the fun. We're going to try and do some exciting things, throughout, maybe, try and we just keep it under wraps. Dress it up a little bit, just to keep everyone involved and allowing them to enjoy themselves. However, obviously, the stipulation is that you can only have 2 league players on the court. So there's a big push for teams to actually have their younger players playing. The under 16 group, anyone that would be eligible come next season. As well as there's new persons to come on board in the under 16, because we have a few young ladies that have aged out, will be involved in the league. We've done this continuously. We've used it as a part of building up their confidence, getting their skill set down, and just playing, so that we can assess where they are and where we need them to be come later on in the season. So we've always used that as our little stepping stone, building block, as per se, to try and just get them out there and get them engaged.
You talked about Pee Wee and getting them started, the fundamental skills, the motor skills, and so forth. The youth league you guys had this past season seemed to be a very resounding success.
Yes.
Any thought of trying to promote that even more to get more young females out for next season?
Well, yes. I mean, our thing is, what we found is that we were losing them. We were losing them to the dance, to football, to all these other things that offer things at a lower age. Meaning, like, you have the tumble tots for gymnastics. You have the Pee Wee football that's for the young boys and girls. The dance, the mommy and me and daddy and me. Everything is starting at a younger age. And for us, we're like, okay, if we can engage them younger, and by bringing them on board, we can basically engage their parents. We can engage, because they have to come with a parent. So we're definitely looking to continue to promote it. And if we can get them loving the sport from an earlier age, then that can only bode well for us as the age groups, grow up, and we can actually build them up and make them bigger. So it's been a thought process for a while. We've agreed upon it. So it's definitely something that we're looking forward to doing.
When we look at the success thus far of the groups that you've had going abroad,
yes,
and we'll go back as far as when the young ladies went to Scotland,
yes,
to this last trip. How do we keep motivating people to get involved in the sport with the aspiration of representing Bermuda in the sport of netball?
Well, I mean, it starts at the club level. We need the clubs to buy into it. We've done our due diligence. We are in the schools. We'll continue to push ourselves within the schools, because that's how we got more players out, more players involved in the league. And by attending the middle school and senior school and primary school games and tournaments, obviously, we play an integral part of providing officials for these tournaments.
Yes.
So it allows us to be able to have a look with a lot of young ladies that are not involved with clubs, and we take our flyers and we say, hey, you look like you can be a good fit. Come on down. Come, here's a flyer. You can. These are the clubs that we have within our league currently. I encourage anyone to go and be a part of their training sessions to see what's the best fit for them. And we just continue to try and promote it. One of the things that we didn't want to do is to just have what we have is this national setup, this national program set up as if, okay, you're only training for a trip. That's been a huge part of us kind of stamping that out, because we have to build up that love. You have to do something because you want to do it, not just because a trip's involved. Because as people can do something, they know a trip's involved, and once the trip's done and over, they're done and over.
Right.
So trying to keep a balance of having them playing competitively, doing some enjoyable things. It's something that we've really been trying to aspire to do, trying to keep that balance. We'll just keep going into the schools and keep pushing the sport and keep doing what we can to get more young ladies involved.
For the summer league, I can't remember, but do you have rain dates, or those games, if they're rained out on that day, are kind of null and void?
Well, they're Tuesdays and Thursdays. Obviously, it's a very short league.
Yeah.
We don't have any rain dates into it. However, it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be any. I mean, we don't want it to be as strenuous as possible.
Right.
We definitely want to keep the fun aspect of it. In the schedule is going to be where everyone plays everyone in the first half, and then they'll be split into a group A and a group B, which will be the top 4 teams, and then the bottom 4 teams they will play in the pools for the second half, obviously involving some fun tournaments and things like that, like the switch up mix up, which will get the guys involved. So we'll have to see how it goes. Let's pray. We don't usually have a lot of rain.
We don't.
We definitely don't usually have a lot of rain during the summer. We need a break ourselves.
Right.
I mean, we've been going all year round,
Right.
all year round now for about 2 years. So if we can just get like at least a 1 month break in between there to prepare for what's next, we try to
So
do
this
that.
summer league, twice a week, you're running for 6 weeks or 8 weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay.
My question is just still netball, but a little different. What happens to the players who are not competing in the summer league? Nowadays in sports, they tell the, let's say, senior players,
Yes.
especially in amateurs, to stay in shape in the off season. Are there programs in place that you guys have designed or for clubs have designed for their senior players and plus national teams?
Well, I mean, for me, we keep the national team engaged and involved. Currently, right now, there's under 16s that are eligible. They are training, leading up to the summer league. The summer league matches will be used as a training ground. I can't speak to what clubs in particular do. I do know that our league is fairly long. It runs from like October to April, May. So it's a long season, and I think that we while we encourage clubs to do fun things and do things, it's up to them what they decide to do. I think that the bodies personally do a break at some point, not completely, but to stay engaged in some sort of activity. One of the good things is that we have the netballers that were away in school that are actually coming back and playing in the summer league because they wasn't able to play being away in school, and they're utilizing that to keep their fitness up for whether it be for basketball, whether it be for football, whether it be for any of those other sports that they're doing. They're using this as their fitness. We definitely try and encourage other sports to come out and be a part of it. I mean, it's excellent fitness. It's excellent foot movement for those that may even be in football overseas, just to keep the body going. And I think that the summer league provides that as far as the BNA perspective. We provide that extra 6 weeks that now is going to be actually going into July. So realistically, we're just going to have August, and then come the end of September, we're looking to kick off our winter leagues, and we're right back into it.
Yeah. Just before we go to the news, you said that you guys had to put the co-ed league on the shelf for this year.
Yes.
What about the possibility of any male that wants to play? Is that over and done with? Can they
I
play in
wouldn't
the
say
league?
it's over and done with, to be honest. We don't want to discourage anyone. It's just a matter of a team bringing it to us. We can put it before council and see what they would like to say on it, and not just council but also the teams that are involved, and gauge what their perspective is on it. And then who knows? It's fine. The rules can be amended should they agree
So
upon it.
Ian, you got a chance.
You're right. Absolutely right. That's a good point. Yeah, good, buddy.
If you go shoot him, yeah, go keeper, something. don't pick up the center
Listen,
or being attacked.
I've invited Ian several times, and he always somehow seems to be off island. I think it's
It's
very
true.
convenient.
It's weird, isn't it? She's invited me like 3 times. I'm off island. I'm off island. I'm off island.
Yeah, I think he schedules his
Convenient.
yes,
Convenient.
very
Convenient.
So, some of these starts when?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's right. It starts tomorrow.
Yes,
I'm off island.
Convenient.
very convenient.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, man, before we wrap up?
No, I'd just like to thank you guys again. Like I said, the council are continuously behind the scene doing a phenomenal job. We have to commend them. We are getting ready to put out our AGM, which will be taking place in June, the end of June. And hopefully anyone that wants to come on board that's looking to try and offer some new blood, some new input, we encourage anybody to come and be a part.
Thank you very kindly. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
St. George's. Enjoy
Yes.
it. All right. We're going to news now and then return over to Don Bassett. We'll be back after the newscast.
Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Beeston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. It's 10 minutes past 1. Joining us in studio is no stranger, the one and only Clyde Best. Clyde Bunny Best. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Ian.
All is well?
Hey, I mustn't complain. I'm happy I woke up this morning. So,
And you're looking good, sir.
I'm trying to catch up with you.
Well, you're heading the right path, man. Keep up the good work, man. Keep up
sharp yourself.
Thank you. I was telling my colleagues just before we went on there, I said I went swimming yesterday, and they know me about my swimming.
Don't tell that story. What's the good story?
That's what they were cracking at me.
Yeah.
Right? Because they know I tell the truth, man. When I train swimming.
Lifeguards on duty, mate.
Oh yeah. I was at Horseshoe Bay Beach yesterday. Oh yeah.
Waiting for the police report.
Boy, I'm
It's
like
tough, eh?
tough.
And cold?
Oh, it's freezing. You know what with the cold? It's just the swimming. You're like, yeah, okay. Triathletes.
Oh, that's what you done yesterday.
I tried to be one.
Okay.
I was trying.
Not easy, you know.
It's gonna take about 2 more years. Not 2 more months. 2 more years. I have to, right? Well, anyway, it's the 5th annual, I think, Clyde Bunny Best golf tournament coming up.
Yes, it is.
This coming Saturday, June 1st.
June 1st.
On a good day, Champions League
On
day.
a good day. So I just hope that we get around the course in a hurry. Because, I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, understood. But back to the golf tournament. So, why is it such a success? This being the 5th annual golf tournament coming up this coming Saturday.
Well, I think we have to thank the people that turn up and appreciate golf, because we are helping our youth, and I think that's the most important thing about it.
Right.
We're giving children the chance to help them with their funding for school, and what better way to do it, and to get together. There are so many golfers in Bermuda. People like golf. It's like going to church in a sense, They all turn up for it, and I'm just blessed and thankful that they do, because we're helping a good cause.
It's amazing that you have a lot of former great athletes in various sports, but taking up golf now and then participating in this golf tournament. You also mentioned that you're giving something back to the community regarding education for our young people. There are a lot of young kids who like to go off to school, but unfortunately due to various reasons, because of financial reasons, they can't make it. But this is something that you're giving back to hopefully put them to further education overseas.
Yes, that's what we try to do, and that's what we set out to do in the beginning. I'm a believer in always trying to give back if you're in a position to do it and help someone. I think we all should try to strive for that, because hey, it's going to make it a better community for all of us. If our children are able to go away, gain experience, get a good education, and come back and use that, and hopefully they turn around and help somebody else.
Sure.
I mean, if you saw on television last week, the gentleman, I think it was from one of the big universities in
Morehouse College.
Morehouse College.
Yeah. Look what he done. I mean, we don't generate as much as that, but we should do it. And give everybody a scholarship. But what he done, it's unbelievable. And if we had more people like that in the world, we wouldn't have the problems that we're having, with children having to struggle to pay school loans and pay school fees. I mean, guys like that don't come along too often, and I hope because of him, we get more people coming forward and helping young people, because they are our future, and regardless if we like it or not, we can't do nothing about it. We've had our turn. We're getting ready for this next stage, so let's help those younger ones and make it better for them.
When you have a committee that worked with you putting this golf tournament on, when you guys were sitting around the table trying to decide what you wanted to do to help out those youngsters, what was that general conversation like?
Well, my main person on my committee is Molly.
Yes.
And then Diane Hunt.
Yes.
And Reginald Pearman.
Yes.
And these are all fantastic people. I mean, Molly, hey, she's
once she got wind of something,
you give Molly an idea, and a lot of people don't know that about her because she doesn't like to be out there letting people know what she's doing. But I would tell anybody, Molly, if you get Molly on your team, you got a good horse, and she's unbelievable, because I've never met a person like that. If you put some mind to it, the job gets done. And I would like to just thank all those people that help us with the golf tournament, from the girls that you do the raffles and make sure the decorations and everything all done. Teresa and then Linda,
You have an
Sharon
awesome team
Coleman.
behind the scenes, that's
Yeah,
for
they're
sure.
great girls.
Well, there's still time to sign up. $150 per person.
Yes, it is.
Shotgun start at 8 a.m. So it's off at Belmont.
At Belmont, yes.
People can get in touch with Darren Simons up at Belmont if they want to put the team in and so forth. But overall, over the 4 years, being this the fifth, you guys have really been able to help commit people back to school because of that challenge. As you said, the first year I remember you made the presentation up at Somerset, and just listening to the youngsters and their parents talk, the contribution was a significant assistance to them and getting them over a major hump.
Well, I'm glad that we could do it for them because, as I said, it's no better feeling in life trying to help the next person, you know, and especially when they need help, you know, because going to college is not cheap.
Right.
I mean, I had my one, and I tell her all the time, I'm so glad it was that many years ago,
right.
where it wasn't as expensive as it is today. You know, I mean, I feel for the parents, you know, that have to work hard to get the children to school. But it's like I say to a lot of people, if you treat your children well, when it's their turn, they're going to treat you well. And that's what life's all about. You know, one big circle, keep it going and helping one another. And hey, we're from a beautiful country.
Right.
And if we can't help one another, we're only 65,000 people. If we can't help one another, something's wrong.
Right. You've had a what one would consider a storybook life career. I'm going to ask you a question, but I know it's almost impossible to answer. Sum up your life.
My life, hey, I've been blessed. I was able to do what I wanted to do because I couldn't do it in my own country. I had to go overseas to do it. I'm glad I did because that gave me the knowledge, the experience, meeting different cultures of people, being in different cultures, people's company, and being able to live different parts of the world. It's been fantastic. And to be truthful, if I had to do it all over again, I would do it because you can't be living in a place like LA or Toronto or Holland, England. You know, it's fantastic education. And to me, when you go to those countries, that's what it does for you. I mean, the Dutch people are some of the most gracious people I've ever met in my life. And what I like about them, and I have a friend that works at Princess now, and he was telling me the other day, we had a meeting, and he was saying, in Holland, our parents teach the young people that if you want to be a man at night, you got to be a man in the morning when it's time to get up and go to work. And that's the principle that we can teach a lot of our young people here because that's what life's all about. If you want to party hard, you got to play hard, you know, and being able to be a part and being involved in all that upbringing and culture, you know, I've been blessed. And I thank the Father for giving me the opportunity. I thank my dad, who's not here no more, because he had the vision, you know, to say, hey, you're going at 17. And we went, and it worked out. I mean, I knew I was going to make it because I knew my mentality. I mean, if you told me as a young kid that I can't, I would tell you you're crazy. I'm going to show you. And you asked Ice Water Smith, I told him one day, you're going to pay to watch me play. And when I see him now, he said, Clyde, you were right. You know, and that's what life's all about. You know? So I can't complain. And as I say, I'm just blessed to be in the position that I'm in where I can help people. And hey, try to be the best person you can be because that's what life's all about.
Right. Many years ago, racism played a major part in sport when you first went over. Does it still bother you that we have it in sport, not just football, but in sport right up to today?
It does. It's annoying because you would have thought that we would have come that much further ahead, but it seems like we're going that further back because we're repeating, you know, what was going on years and years ago. It's what I tell people all the time. One thing about playing football or any sport, cricket with the ball doesn't care what color you are.
Right.
If you can play and you perform, it doesn't care. You know, so we have to learn that. The game of sports do not belong to one nationality or one race. It belongs to us all. And that's what the Lord gave it for. For us to go out and enjoy ourselves and try and be the best people we can be. I mean, if you look at Ryan Sterling right now, you look at the abuse that he's taking. And what I really admire about him, he's being a man, he's being counted, and he's standing up for what is right. And for him to go and help people buy tickets for the kids, help his parents get houses, those are things that we want to see our young people do. And a lot of the young boys, the black boys in England right now, I think they're doing it the right way.
Now, come on Saturday, I know there's a few teams from the East End that have already won this particular tournament. They'll be back to defend a few titles. But to see the multitude of teams that have played over the 4 years and going into the 5th year for the Clyde Bass tournament, it must be one of the things that make you feel proud that from east to west, north to south, you have all these people coming on board to play in a tournament with your name.
Well, that's the good thing about us older guys as it is. We all went to school in all parts of Bermuda. Some of my best friends in Bermuda live in the East End. So it goes to prove it doesn't make any difference where you live. If you carry yourself a certain way and behave yourself, you're going to have friends for all the rest of your life. I went to school up here on the hill at Prospect Boys. We had guys from all over Bermuda that went there. And we're all still friends today. And that's what life is all about, to create friendships, respect one another, love one another. Not to hate one another because you come from Paget or I come from Somerset. You see, and that's what life's all about. And we demonstrate that very well. I mean, Goat Brangman, I remember playing against him when we were at Churchill and he was in St. George's, And, hey, Goat's a good friend of mine, Larry, well, he's dead now, Hecky Black. But Milton Jones, Cal, Rain, all of us, we're good buddies, In town, we have people like Bongi Ferber Courtland and all those guys, David Frost, Dale Russell, we're all Derek, we're all friends, so we didn't have that sort of animosity going against us, hey, we're friends, we're playing together, we're going to have fun together and live our life together, and that's what a lot of us have done, and I think it's fantastic that today we all still get on and we do what we have to do and enjoy one another's company because, hey, as I said before, we're getting older, we're not getting younger. I mean, anybody that wants to go out and start putting the fist up today, you got something wrong with you. So we do it in a civil way, we sit down, have a conversation, you might be in the bar and you discuss. Most of the guys like sport, so you always can get a conversation with
any sport.
I mean, you talk football in Bermuda, and what amazes me about Bermuda, a lot of the guys, they're very knowledgeable about football. We probably know more about it here than they do in other parts of the world that are bigger, so we're real in tune to what's going on in the sports world. We got the World Cup of Cricket coming up pretty soon.
This week.
You're going to have tons of people probably flying out just to go watch it, so, that's what life's all about. And to be involved in this tournament and the guys that participate, hey, I say thank you to them, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because we are all doing something that is worthwhile, is helping the young people.
Now, the fact that you got a chance to see Bermuda play the other night in the lead up to the Gold Cup, your impression on what the team has accomplished thus far heading to the Gold Cup?
Well, I'm going to tell you just what I told Carl. You must remember, we have more kids playing today that are affiliated with professional clubs or semi-pro clubs, so they know what is required. Where in the past, most of our players came from local, and it was a difference, it's a big difference between playing pro, semi-pro, and amateur. So the players today should be in tune to what the task is. And looking at them on Saturday night, I thought the right back was superb. I mean, he was a center forward from what I was told, and he, knew what to get forward. I thought Donovan done well. I thought Clay Smith's done well. These are all boys that have had that experience, so they know. Now, when it comes to the big dance, which is the Gold Cup, we have a fantastic chance
Mhm.
because we got McKee coming in. You know, you got little Lewis coming in.
Mhm.
You know, these are little diamonds in the rough. So if the ball bounces our way, because as I said, on any given day, anything's possible.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know, if the other teams are not playing to their potential, little Bermuda can give them a shot,
Mhm.
and it would be the best thing for our country if we could get a decent result in the Gold Cup.
Mhm.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I want to see them do well. Because a country this size to be punching at that weight in a tournament like this, it's unbelievable.
Right. You think that will come across even in the social element that we have, that guys will look at the potential of getting involved and come off the street sort of thing?
I hope so. I mean, we've got to try anything we can to prevent this from happening because you've got guys hurting their best friends, their cousins, their neighbors. You know, we don't need this in a place this small.
Right.
You know, if I was living in Los Angeles now, yeah, I can understand it. You know, or New York City or DC, yeah. But in a place 22 square miles, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know, so hey, respect one another, love one another, learn to turn the other cheek.
Right.
You know, if somebody, I mean, it's like me when I played. If somebody called me a name, if I would have gone and reacted,
Right.
how many guys do you think would have been playing football in England today?
Been minor.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You see, so that's
Yeah.
what you have to learn to do.
Mhm.
Worry about the next person coming after you. Carry yourself in a different manner. Respect one another. Behave to one another. And if we do well in this Gold Cup, who's telling what it could do for players in the Gold Cup or local players on local soil?
Right.
Because if they see little Bermuda doing well, they're going to come here looking for talent. And we do have talent. You know, it's the mentality that leaves us behind sometimes, you know, so we have to continue to work hard and do the best we can. And if we do, who knows what can happen.
Right. Well, just before you go, we want to mention again, it's the Clyde Bass Golf Tournament on Saturday, June 1st. Shotgun start at 8 a.m. Belmont Hills Golf Course. Contact Darren Swan at Belmont. $150 per person, which includes green fees and lunch at Divots after. Maybe even catch the Champions League match if all goes well.
Yes, if you like football and you don't want to go home, then this would be an ideal place to be.
Or if you have to wait around after doing construction on the golf course.
It's hinted to the workers what to
That's
do.
all the divots.
That's all the divots right
Let's hope not. Let's hope.
Yeah.
We got a lot of guys that are seasoned golfers.
there. Yes, yes.
I don't think it's going to be.
I tease a lot of them.
If
man.
I went to play, you
Right.
probably have some divots.
Right. I'm in construction.
You may have to start on Friday then. Well, if you watch the game on Saturday, you may have to
But I'd
start on
rather
Friday.
start today. Today. You know what I mean? Because I'm not. I mean, I like to watch it on television.
Yeah.
And golf is a game that will get to you.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
If you don't, do the right thing. I mean, you can break a club or throw it away, or and I'd rather just watch everybody else enjoy themselves, talk to the guys, and have a good time that way.
All right, sir.
But you also still have something else in the works as well for the end of June, don't you?
Yes, we do. I would rather pull it off first, with the support that we have, and then once I got that support, then we know we can do it, and we can
Make
come
the
back or let
announcement.
you guys make the announcement on the radio. which
Sure,
I know
no
you
problem.
would. And I would hope you're going to be there, even though he's a Liverpudlian. He'll come and support a Londoner. So let's hope so.
We'll do
And
it
it'll be
just for
fun.
you. We'll do
And
it just
it's
for
fun
you, right?
because the knowledge the person has about the playing side and the coaching side is going to be invaluable. So
Definitely.
hopefully we can pull it off and
Definitely.
everything's going to be okay.
And then hopefully next season our Bermuda boy will get a start in one of those premiership games.
Who's that?
Nathan.
Nathan, hope so. I mean, he's the good thing about Nathan. He's got lots of time.
Yes.
Goalkeeping is different from being on the
Huge
field.
different, yeah.
And you want to make sure that it's exactly right,
Right
because
time, mhm.
if you don't,
It could ruin him.
it can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just takes his time. He's going to be okay. Speaking to everybody there, they love him. I see he was saving
Save
the
the
year
year,
this year.
yeah.
So he can play. So if he couldn't play, he wouldn't be in that arena that
Right,
long.
right.
Because one thing about that arena, they find you out quickly.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't perform,
See ya.
The door's gone.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to tell a lot of the young people here. That's why it's important to get an education, because for every 1,000 that tries out in football, one might make it.
Yeah.
So look at the numbers.
And it doesn't necessarily mean
That's right.
you're the best.
That's right.
Point
And,
one.
Yeah.
and right now, with all the kids coming from all parts of the world,
Mhm.
because everybody wants to play in the Premier League.
Right.
You know, so you got people all over the world. Where I went, we just had England, Scotland, Wales.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so now you got every country in the
Yeah.
world wants to be a Premiership player. So that's a lot of pressure and
Definitely.
a lot of work that you need to do. You know,
That shows how much the sport has grown as well.
Yes.
Football has grown. I mean, it's, you look at it worldwide, it's the number one sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt.
it's I don't know a sport like it. I mean, I tell people all the time, what I really admire about football, you can be as dark as the ace of spades or as white as a snowflake. What happens when a goal is scored?
You all come together.
They all come together.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's what's amazing about
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I really like about it. You know, you know, you get that sort of camaraderie and thing going on. You can't beat it.
And not a lot of people look at it like that.
Mm.
If when a girl is scored, and say let's use Ian's team.
Mm.
When a girl is scored, look at the amount of nations that come together to celebrate.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Ian's
Yeah.
team.
You got
they're-
Dutch. You got
they're
Africa.
different.
You
I
got
mean,
British.
yeah, they're different.
You got
team.
you got a whole Brazilian.
I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
you know anything about Liverpool, and you go to Enfield and play, and when you hear that national anthem, you never walk alone.
Right.
It brings tears to your eyes. Man. I'm telling you, it's you can't explain it. You
Right.
have to go there and feel it. You
Right.
know what I mean? You can't feel it here. You can't feel it in the States.
Right.
You got to be at Anfield because there's no place like it.
What is it like as a player on the
It's
players on the team?
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Is
I
it
mean,
intimidating?
I love playing at Enfield. I love to play at Manchester United because the type of person I was, the bigger the stage,
Yeah.
I'm going to show that this little boy from Bermuda can play. And what I really appreciate in my book, in Callahan said, Clyde Best is the only player I've seen come to Enfield and it never wore it. And it's true. I mean, I enjoy playing at Enfield.
It's funny how you asked that question, and it's funny how you answered.
Mm.
Didn't worry you, right? So after when Liverpool beat Barca, they were saying that the players, but the Barcelona players were worried about playing at Anfield. Prior.
No.
Like they didn't come out and say it then
Right,
prior
right,
to it.
right.
But after it came out in reports in Spain that the players had
Terrified.
nerves, terrified, good term,
I can believe it.
playing at Anfield in the second leg. Though they were up 3-0.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see it. Enfield, as I said, I don't know if any of you guys have been there before.
No, I haven't been there. No.
Well, we're gonna.
It's been
What
there.
I'm trying to do is next year to start taking people over to watch games.
Yeah.
So make sure you're in the crew when I say we're going to Enfield.
I think we could do a special.
Yeah,
Let's make
well,
a.
we're trying to. We're trying to work something out.
Okay.
You know, so
All right.
see what they work out with the airlines and stuff like that. So, but that's what we hope to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Never walk alone.
Hey, well, as I said, it's nothing better than walking alone in Enfield.
You'll find out. You'll find out Saturday, right?
Yeah,
You'll find out Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Okay,
Best.
guys,
It's a pleasure having you on. All right.
Always a pleasure.
See you on
Take
Saturday.
care.
See you on Saturday. Harold.
All right. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Joining us in the studio is Coach Gill, or Kendia Gill.
Yes, hi, Coach G. Yes,
Coach G.
Coach G.
And it's involving jump rope.
Yes.
Last time we spoke, you had some things that you were working on for, if I'm correct, for the summer and upcoming events overseas.
That is correct. Yes, we are currently in training now. We leave in T-minus about a month now. We, along with our national squad for jump rope, will be heading to Norway for the World Jump Rope Championships. Really excited.
Last year, that event was a huge success for the organizers. The amount of teams, the amount of participants, and not only the fact that Bermuda had a team there, but getting to an event like that and seeing the number of people that actually take part. How do you guys make sure that your kids are well prepared, not only for competition, but all that around, because they don't get that opportunity to see that on a regular basis.
Of course, yes. This is actually our 8th or 9th year heading to the championships now. So I'm really proud of what our head coach, Sienna Barton, has been doing for jump rope on the island. Our jumpers, our national squad, especially our competing ones, is ranged to about 7 to 12 jumpers, and that's consistent of both youth and adults. We train about 3 to 4 times a week, at least for 2 to 3 hours each session. Our coach, like what Coach C and I had mentioned last time, that our approach to our coaching for the competitiveness of a world stage, we take on the more American approach, where you train for a longer periods or more times a week than just a general like twice a week, like a gym class sort of situation. Our practices are quite rigorous. As you know, in jump rope, you have to have the strong arms, strong legs, strong stomachs, and so a lot of conditioning goes into that. Our Burmese bouncers are mandated. They do 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 50 jump squats a day, minimum. And that's just to build up their endurance and their strength to do all the power moves that you would see them do in the community, like all the flipping and all of that. The push-ups in a rope is not easy. And I really want to give our jumpers the credit where it's due. Good shout out to them. So
when a few months ago you had a workshop at Victor Scott, and you had 2 people come in to do that, and the gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he had some amazing performances that he was able to demonstrate to the youngsters. What does it take to get to that level of being able to do some of the stuff that he was able to do?
Yes, world champion Stuart Isaacs. Yes, it's great to have him here. One thing you have to do is build up your strength first with all that conditioning and training that goes into that. In addition, you also have to have a mental capacity or mental will to keep going and not to give up. We do have a saying in jump rope that it's hard until it's easy. And many of us, when you realize you're trying so hard and you're not getting it, you tend to give up. It's like, no. You got to keep on going. You got to keep on doing it, because if you don't continue that path, you will lose it. So the mental capacity to get that strength also. In addition, having no fear. In our program, we instill values that help build confidence and self-worth, as well as self-pride, self-accomplishment. So when you get those little elements leading up to your overall confidence, you will have less fear. So you approach different elements, especially when you're flipping and have never flipped before. You generally have that initial fear, but then you get over it. You build yourself up. You constant reinforcement, constant encouragement to try again. We do that a lot. So. Good old saying, right?
The fact that you guys work with different age groups, from beginners right through to some experienced adults.
That's cool.
Your train of thought when it comes to those classes has to change quite a bit, doesn't it?
In a way, yes. We mold all trainers to the jumper.
Right.
Each jumper has his or her own individual journey. And we allow them this space and creativity to have their journey on their own. Our sessions aren't usually, if I had to compare, like dance classes or gymnastics class, it's a set structure.
Right.
Everybody does this. Even all levels do the same thing each and every time. And the people that get it right away are the people who get it right away, and those who work tend to get in an easier part or easier. That's not the case with jump rope. We all warm up the same. We all learn the elements the same. However, especially with freestyle elements, we then what is called as leveling. Based on what you can do, we will give you in that session various things to try. Or you're working on this particular element today, I want you to continue working on that because you're almost there. And we allow them the space to go off by themselves, to work it out, to practice, and things of that nature. So it's a lot of people would say, it would seem sort of disjointed in terms of how one person be doing one thing over here, one person doing one here and here. However, you'll find that all the three groups, even with that separation, are together because someone from the other side of the room has been in that other person's position before. So it allows us coaches to be able to step back and allow the jumpers themselves to go in and be like, hey, I remember when I did this. Why don't you try this, 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 this? And they'll be like, oh, okay. And then they will go back to their part of the room where they would be working out. So
the last time we talked with Sienna and yourself, you were talking about how most of the youngsters come up with their own routine.
That is correct. Yes.
Heading into the World Championships, how do you fine-tune that person's routine to ensure that they can maximize their performance?
In terms of for judging purposes, is that what you mean? Okay. Yes. I would say by March, April, we usually have our routines down, and we just run those routines over and over and over and over again so that the jumper's body gets that muscle memory to be able to just do it at will, and it also helps build their endurance. We also use our performance season. When you see us out in the community, those are the opportunities for the jumpers to be able to practice performing it in a way that, when you go out to perform in the community, treat that like you're at World Jump Rope. How would you do it? What would you do different? How much energy do you really need to put into that routine? Go full out, no marking. As we are expanding, we do take advantage of bringing overseas coaches here to Bermuda, just like how we brought Mr. Isaacs down, so that they get that sort of competitive edge. Unfortunately, here in Bermuda, we do not have the ability to go to competitions. We don't have that like the U.S. and other countries do, as we are still a growing sport. So we take advantage of their expertise to come down to the island. That's why we also have the camps, so that the jumpers can learn various elements, learn various tricks. We also encourage the kids to put themselves out there via social media. Jump, as the sport of jump rope, is global. So you want to make sure that, hey, if it's global, we can put ourselves up there as well. And we draw from Instagram, draw from YouTube, inspiration, which the kids can then watch in the comfort of their home, practice in their yards, and bring those inspirations to practice, where we would then create a routine with them. Yes.
Now, what is the competition? Is it individuals, doubles, triples, and what else?
It's speed and freestyle events, pretty much.
Okay.
The speed events, our jumpers will be participating in 1 by 30-second speed.
Yeah.
That's how long you're in the rope for 30 seconds. And then 1 by 3 minute. So we call it 1 by 180.
Right.
3 minutes.
Okay.
They also will be participating in the relay 4 by 30 second.
Okay.
We also have a double unders. Shout out to all the CrossFit people. You know you like your your double unders, right?
Right.
We have a relay of 2 by 30. Us, the adults, we're competing in double Dutch speeds events where that is 2 by 1 minute, and also our 3 by 40 second speeds.
So when do you find time to train?
Whenever I can. we are mandated to take our ropes everywhere, every chance that we get. I do my tries every morning and every night before I go to bed as well. If I have a chance, I'm putting my rope in my hand. If I can't pick up my rope, I'm always practicing rolling my wrist, or you see me with my feet, or you'll see me randomly throwing my arms behind my back. The other day I was walking around town, somebody told me I was looking crazy.
She must get walking down the street.
And that's fine too, because I know, and as well as our athletes know, that hard work does pay off, and you have to put in the time. Just like any national squad, you want those medals, you gotta put in the work.
Right.
Reward comes from work. So that's my saying.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
like so many other sporting bodies, recruitment's at a young age. What's the youngest you start?
We usually start at the P3 level, 7 years old.
And it's been a success there, or
yes, it's definitely an interest. We are noticing that a lot of kids have the agility and the flexibility, and by adding the jump rope, we're like, okay, now let's add coordination. Let's add focus, making you use both sides of your brain. You'll notice that a lot of athletes, especially you right-handed ones, you very much favor your right side. And when you ask you to do to your left, it's like, oh, wait, what? And then you have to teach yourself. In jump rope, it's all integrated together using those both parts of your brain, both sides of your body. So the coordination comes a lot easier.
So I take it you're left-handed.
I am. Shout out to all the left-handed
Just the way she said you're right-handed.
I am left-handed, but believe it or not, most of my sporting stuff is predominantly right. It's crazy.
Nah.
ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous. Yes. It comes in handy.
So what final touches are you guys putting on for this group to go over, and how many do you have going?
For the youth, we have 4 athletes heading out. Their names: Judah Smith Dyer, who is the captain of the Bermuda Bounce Backs, who attends Cedar Bridge Academy. Zade Ingerman Witter, who attends St. George's Prep. Johnny Robinson, who attends Mount St. Agnes Academy, and D'Angelo Williams, who attends West Pembroke School. Those are the youth. The adults that will be competing, they're all educators. Woo woo. Shout out to Board of Education. Sophia Dyer, Keitha Hudson, Lauriette Thomas, and myself, Coach E. Yay! Very excited to be heading to Norway. Very excited.
Now you say you this is year 8 or 9. What's the best we've ever been able to accomplish at the World Championship?
I would have to say every year we have medaled.
Okay.
At least I would say 3, 4, 5 medals each time. Last year we did come home with Judah and Zade did come home with bronze. We were very proud of them. We bounce backs came home with golds. We were excited too.
I'm sure.
So, but every year we not only make an impression on the podium, but also in the jump community as well. They have a program known as the Student Ambassador Program, and that is global. They have this board. The jumpers are observed based on not just their character and sportsmanship in the rope, but outside the rope as well. If they get the notice from the already existing ambassadors, you can potentially be invited to staff various events throughout the world. You do get flown, all cost paid, to go to these various events. One of our previous graduates, Sebastian Lee, which we are very proud of, he has been an all-arounder. He has various medals himself. He will be representing Bermuda and the Bermuda Bouncers by staffing in Germany this summer.
Oh, well, okay.
So it's very
How
proud of him.
long is that?
I believe the camp is give or take about a week or so.
Okay.
I mean, when you're jumping for 8 hours in a day, you can't go for a full month. You'll be really buff and strong by then. But our camps usually generally last no more than a week. But it's all day jumping, and just like we do with our camps, at the end of camp we do perform a showcase.
One of the questions I want to ask, with you being involved in competition as well, how do you plan to manage that time with ensuring that the youngsters have everything they need on the day, because so many things pop up, and then you are fully focused in when it's your time to compete?
Of course. In addition to our coaching staff, we also have our chaperones that go on the trip as well, who also do various certifications as well as us coaches. So luckily the layout of World Jump Rope is spread out enough where it's almost like each age group we get to give our focus on. And when they are not competing, they can either go and network and make friends with other teams, or they can sit, relax, and always support those who are on the floor. Yes. So it's really good. But speaking of showcase, we're having one in a couple of weeks, right? Yay! June 14th at Bermuda College. We are having our end of year showcase, which we have every year.
Right.
We combine the National School of the Bermuda Bouncers and Club Jumpers, as well as all our jumpers that participated in Jump to Be Fit throughout the year.
Okay.
We combine them together and we put on a showcase for parents, the ministry, and all that good stuff.
So you've confirmed the date and the location, because the last time you talked, you were still trying to work out
Yes, we were still
details.
trying to work it out. We would like to do June 14th at Bermuda College, yes.
Okay. And you'll be taking part as well?
Oh, yes, I will be.
Organizing or on the stage?
I mean, you'll see me with the mic in my hand as well to get the crowd pumping, right?
It's going to be difficult, you without a rope waving the mic around, though, huh?
Oh, yes. I would, right before I go on, I'd be like, here, run on, do my thing, come back off, out of breath, grab the mic again. It's what we do.
So where are you training in the lead up to the World Championships?
This year, again, we were hosted by Victor Scott Primary.
Okay.
So we basically live in that gym right now. We're there again 3 to 4 times a week, at least for 3 hours. And again, we would like to thank Victor Scott Primary for the opportunity to work alongside them, and we're looking forward to continuing that relationship into next school year.
Cool. Yeah. Anything else before you go?
I would like to say, jump rope is a sport. We are, again, very young. We're still growing. The interest is definitely there. Parents, it is not just a little backyard activity that's like, okay, that's cute. No, our program is much, much more than that. As we are getting ready to gear up for the next school year, we're working with the Department of Youth and Sport and getting, hopefully, in the after schools programs. We still would like to build our teams by school by school. It is a sport. It is a lot of hard work, but it's also a lot of fun. And it also builds that confidence, especially for our youth that don't feel they can be athletes.
Right.
And so come and find us. We are on social media. We are everywhere. We are even out in the community. Our next big community event will be, apart from the showcase, the Rubber Duck Derby on the 23rd. We will be there. Come out and support. And
skipping on the water?
Yeah. No, we're not going to be on the water, but we have jumped on the boat before. That was fun throughout the harbor. But yes, come and check us out, Jump Rope Bermuda. We are both on Facebook and Instagram. You can send us a message. And guess what? Adults, come out too. Jump rope is for all ages, both youth and adults. So come and find us.
There you go. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to take our final commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be wrapping up Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday.
And welcome back, bro. Just before we wrap up, we had a discussion a couple of weeks ago prior to the Bermuda Half Marathon Derby, and we talked about moving the time forward. And when we was doing post interviews, we put questions out to the participants, and let's say we interviewed 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
One said no, leave it to 9 o'clock. The rest said move it to 8. But all said and done, if it moves to 8 o'clock next year, can you see Lamont here even improving on his time from coming out of the West?
Well, his father made a good point, but it remains to be seen. Only because, like we said, the conversation you're talking about we had, I think it could be done. Mm-hmm. But we have to decide. We're going to have to give it a few years. We can't just say, okay, in 2020 we'll trial it at 8 o'clock and see what happens, and then in 2021 we're going back to 9 o'clock.
No, well, from what I've been hearing and discussions having, once they make the move,
that's it.
So
I honestly support that. The race should start a little earlier. If it's deemed an hour, then it's deemed an hour. Because we're getting warmer and warmer. This year was an exception.
Exception to the rule.
We've had races start in unbearable heat at sometimes at 9 o'clock.
That is true.
So we try it. Let's see what happens. And I think 8 o'clock makes a significant difference. And I think most of the runners will enjoy the comfort of 8 o'clock start as opposed to a 9 o'clock. Finishing it just after 10 as opposed to after 11.
Yeah, big difference. Yeah. Huge difference, actually.
Yeah.
Just want to congratulate, again, Lamont Marshall and
Rosanna
Hoy for winning the male and female division in the 110th Bermuda Half Marathon Derby, and hopefully we can see them both out defending their title next year and see what it's like coming out of the West.
There you go.
Yeah. Good luck, Liverpool, come Saturday. And hopefully we can raise the silverware this year for a 6th Champions League Cup.
Donnie might be here by ourselves on Monday.
Okay.
One way or the other. He's either going to help celebrate or he ain't coming out of the house.
Oh, gotcha.
Well,
so in other words, you might win, or you might lose.
That's right. That's right.
Depending on
That's
the
why we play the
situation.
game.
That's true. That's why I play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But no, if we lose, no, I still come forward. I still come up. Done right. Got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have to.
Yes, indeed. I agree.
Look at Toronto Raptors.
Down 2-0.
2-0 and came back on 4 straight.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Cool.
Yep.
Don Bassett.
Sure.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's a pleasure working with you as always.
Always a pleasure as always.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Earl the Pearl.
Yep.
Hold the slack tight.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.